Are we live? Are we back?
I think we're live.
I think we're back.
Welcome back, guys. It's good to see you. Vital, are you having a beer? Are you drinking a beer right now?
I am drinking a beer. There are no laws in Alaska.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna get a beer because I'm
Let's
drinking.
do it.
I haven't seen you forever.
Let's do it. It's like 5 o'clock there, right?
What's up, dude? How's it going? How's Alaska?
Oh, it's fucking fantastic.
I know.
I love
dude,
it. It is. It's so cool. Cheers.
I'm super glad that you didn't get eaten by a bear yet, or whatever.
Oh, there's still time, dude. There was a bear right at our camp yesterday, or 2 days ago. It was crazy. Yeah, a little black bear, juvenile. He was just running around doing circles. Yeah, it was about 250. It'd be a decent wrestling partner.
Dude, it's funny. If somebody were to ask, I was like, show a picture of this screen, and I'd be like, which one of the three of us is in Alaska right now?
So it's either that or you're going to marry an orca. That was what I decided. Like, are you going to go full native on us?
An orca? Do you mean an Eskimo?
No, I meant an orca, but whatever.
Like a whale?
Whatever floats.
Aren't you like 600 miles from the ocean, Vital?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so far inland, dude. I haven't seen fish in months.
Because you're up on the glacier, right?
Yeah. We're very close to it. We're about 40 miles from the glacier we fly to. So it's fantastic up here. I thought John Denver was full of shit. Nah, Alaska's beautiful, guys.
Who knew? Who could have whoever would have guessed? That's the last podcast we did was right before the Super Bowl. I lost the fantasy contest on the Super Bowl because the Eagles lost. Lonnie still hasn't gotten me my temporary tattoo yet, though.
I have not. No, I'm waiting for the season to start for that event.
I mean, it takes a while to get here anyway, but like I feel like this is something that should happen before that. Because here's the thing, I don't want to carry that energy into the new season.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we in a world where the losers get to decide how things go? I'm sorry. Also, I guess I had something in my ear that I couldn't.
That's right. I forgot. We haven't seen this live.
This is what was blocking my ability to hear. I'm just going to leave that. No, I'll put it back.
Wait, zoom in so you can see the engraving, though. I want to see the engraving. I haven't seen this since I gave it to you. His Royal Highness Lonnie Cox, 2022 ruler of the Dick Pick 6, a humble king, a gentle king, but king nonetheless. Man, I'm so disappointed.
The worst person in the league who could have possibly won is now your king.
Quite possibly. All right, you say yes. No, the losers do not get to make the rules, obviously. But this is a 2022 league year penalty. Once the 23 season starts, that it should happen before that happens. I feel like that's just logical, right?
Okay, I will add it to my list. I've been moving. I've had a lot of stuff. You can see this is my new place.
Very nice.
Here.
All right.
Got my bookshelf set up. So I will add it to my list of to-dos to create the most humiliating temporary tattoo possible.
If you need a temporary tattoo website, we endorse Momentary Ink. They will make anything you want. First year we had Vital's face on Lonnie's belly. Mm-hmm. Second year we had a fetus.
Right before, by the way, the repeal of Roe v. Wade, which was hilarious timing.
Can't afford that one.
It was in a sonogram with no regrets misspelled.
No regrets misspelled. I had to go to a pool immediately after that. I had to explain to several people that it was not real. A lot of fun times.
So amazing. So this year it's my turn.
What was if you could narrow it down? What was the crossroads that you picked? Like, what was the wrong choice that you picked that really settled in your
Chiefs?
It was clearly it was Vital picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. If the Eagles had won the Super Bowl, Vital would have lost because he got 5 points for the Chiefs Super Bowl win. And it was a close, it could have gone either way.
Shout out to Mahomes' greatness.
Oh, it's a fantastic game. I was legitimately upset that the Eagles looked like even for a moment they were going to pull off a victory. But
I think one of my favorite moments about the Super Bowl, and I remember watching this live, Dak Prescott won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So at halftime, I believe it was halftime of the Super Bowl, he came out and they presented him with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Every Eagles fan in the stadium was booing him. It was priceless. Dude, it was audible on the broadcast, like loud boos from every Eagles fan. The Eagles fans clearly travel well, and He booed Dak Prescott for winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Eagles fans, stay classy. You guys are the best. What would the league be without Eagles fans? But you know what? Like, also kind of in their defense, Dak Prescott winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, it's supposed to be for excellence on and off the field. Now, Dak, great guy, wonderful humanitarian, does lots of great things off the field. Last year, are we going to say he was excellent on the field? I think that's
no, absolutely not. It was god awful.
So, Eagles fans,
hey, your Pats still gave him a check, Nick.
Not Ezekiel, Dak Prescott. Dak,
okay, true.
Quarterback. You've been in Alaska too long. You've forgotten.
Yeah, dude. Vital is like a nature man now, dude. He's not concerned.
I'm not
with,
plugged in anymore.
Cosmopolitan worries anymore, dude. He's like living off the land.
I'm fed on blueberries now. I pick right from the bush. Shit's crazy.
Dude, he's got bears to worry about.
All right, let's do this was a fun story. This was a good one. Mike Vrabel was asked by a reporter during, I think it was the first week of camp or mini camp or something like that. How many 5-year-olds would it take to tackle Derrick Henry? His response was perfect. He said, a better question is how many of them would die in the process? But the ultimate answer that he gave was 35. Which seems really low. Like, what?
Well, at that point, you're talking about just like a mass of humanity that he wouldn't be able to like.
Okay,
move through. Yeah.
This is going to set us up for our first round of over/under for the year. I'm going to set this up. How many 5-year-olds on a football field would it actually take to stop Derrick Henry? If he starts at one end and they have to stop him before he gets to the other end zone, 100 yards. How many of them would it take to make sure that he couldn't do that? I set the over-under at 200. Now, imagine, let's make them angry 5-year-olds just for the fun of it.
I'm going to take the way over here because I'm thinking you're going to need to literally load the field like with 5-year-olds. So I'm thinking like 10,000. Like how many 5-year-olds?
I agree.
To like
it would have to be like a zombie rush.
Jam them in.
Dude,
so that Derrick Henry would be like going through quicksand, basically, like going.
5-year-olds are soft, dude.
I have 30 little cousins. Taking on more than 3 within the 4 to 6 range when they are angry and motivated is not an easy task. Granted, we have a whole field to work with. Derrick Henry is a monster. 200 angry, motivated 5-year-olds. You're saying he's going to get through all, because remember, this is magnet ball. They're not going to be like spread out in different formations. This is 200 all focused on one, albeit giant human being. And their sole purpose is to bring him down to the point where one of his knees touches the ground.
Taking the over again.
I'm also taking it over, Nick. You're thinking of 5-year-olds like they're a bunch of ants who could work together. They're still 5-year-olds. Are these kids also wearing pads? Because have you seen Little League or like Pee Wee football with the kids in pads? Because they're goofy, dude.
Whatever benefits them the most. No, we'll say no pads. Okay, we'll say no pads.
That helps them, but I still think it's over.
200 of them going for his legs at once. You're still going over?
Because it's not 200 of them going for his legs at once. That's not really feasible. At most, 10 of them can be around him at one time, really, right? Something like that.
On top of
and
each
then aside
other.
from that,
they're going to
be they're going to be more of a hindrance to themselves.
I mean, yeah, but there's going to be 200 of them. I say under. I think 200 5-year-olds could take down Derrick Henry on a football field on an open.
I'm sad we'll never get this answer.
At least make him stop his forward progress or knee down before he gets to the other end zone. I'm going to
not a chance, dude.
All right. And then the other over under, how many would die if there were 200 of them trying to stop him? The over under on that is 30. If you have 200 5-year-olds trying to stop Derrick Henry from getting into the other end zone, whether he makes it or not, what's the over under on how many would die in the process? And this is like Hunger Games style, like, right? Derrick Henry, he's fully motivated. He's like, if I don't make it, whatever you have to do to motivate Derrick Henry to run over and kill 5-year-olds, that's what's happening. His whole family's on the chopping block for this one. Over under is 30 dead 5-year-olds at the end of this run. Over or under?
I'll take the under on that because the 5-year-olds are durable. They're durable. They aren't strong, but they're durable.
They're made of rubber.
I think this is going to be a fucking bloodbath. Like, I think this is just going to be a fucking nightmare. like Derrick Henry's family is going to die. If we don't, those kids are done, dude. That's unless Derrick Henry hates his family, which is very possible. But yeah, no, this is going to be a fucking asshole.
Okay. You're drafting a fantasy football team. Who would you draft first? Barbie or Oppenheimer? All skills involved. Have you guys seen these movies?
Oh,
I have not. I have not, but I would like to go see. I would like to see them both. Honestly, have you seen them, Nick?
I saw both of them. They were both excellent movies. Excellent.
Yeah, I heard Barbie and Oppenheimer are very good.
Very good movies. All right. So knowing what you know based on what you know about the movies, who are you drafting first for your fantasy team? Oppenheimer or Barbie?
I'm taking Barbie. They know nerds on my team.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna say Barbie. You know, this is for an on the field position. We're not talking about coach.
Yeah, coach. Obviously, you take Oppenheimer. Clearly, I mean that's not.
Oppenheimer might clear someone out and then really regret it the next day. Like, oh, what did I do? No, I become dead.
No,
shut up, dog.
No, I don't want a cerebral you know. This isn't, you know, I'm not playing golf here.
Right.
Barbie's got the athletic edge, the flexibility, you know, the willingness to sacrifice her body for the better of the game. Like, take Barbie every day.
All right, that's fair. I like that. If Oppenheimer were strategizing the 205-year-old,
they might have a chance.
They might have a chance. Then I'll take the over. I'll take the over on that one for sure.
Yeah, but 205 years all their own. No.
Oh, by the way, we're a couple things I mentioned about the league. Our league this year making a couple changes. We're doing some more bonuses. I added some bonuses in. Every yard, I believe, as far as I can tell, every yard is going to count this year, no matter what happens, how it happens. Kick return yards, interception return yards. I actually added. It's not the same as rushing yards, but they are going to count for something. So if the defense intercepts a pass and they rush it back, I believe the defensive unit is going to score some points for that. Basically, anything that changes the game in any significant way, moving the ball, there's going to be points accrued by either the unit, if it's defense, special teams, or an individual player. The one thing that I wanted that I wasn't able to get this year, but I did send an email to Sleeper requesting it for next year, was successful recovery of onside kicks. I want those points scored by the kicker. I want points scored by whatever individual special teams player, because a lot of times it's one of their best receivers who recovers, like one of the hands team guys. You know, a lot of times there's guys who you have in your lineup anyway are in those situations. And it's a huge play. It's a huge turning point in the game. I also want the defense and special teams unit that converts a successful onside kick to get some kind of points as well.
I agree, but defensive special teams, yeah, for sure. But the kicker and then the individual player, no, dude, because at that moment, you're a defensive special teams guy. It's one unit.
I already have points scored for individual special teams players, like for instance, return guys. It score points. It scores for the defensive unit, and it also scores for the individual player.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's kick returners and punt returners are getting their own points. If a special teams touchdown is scored and it's your guy, if it's a receiver or whatever, a running back who also plays special teams, their value is a little bit higher because they have potential to accrue points in that way. It's not a lot. It's like passing yards when it's the yardage, but the touchdowns count for the individual player as well. So I think recovering maybe just 1 point for the individual player, but I think an individual player who recovers a successful onside kick should get a point. And the kicker, there's a lot of technique to that for the kicker. So the kicker, I think, should get 2 or 3 points. It should be worth at least as much as a successful field goal, because it is very hard to do as a kicker. There's a lot of strategy involved. There's kicking techniques. There are some guys who are much better at it than others. So anyway, they wrote back to me almost immediately and they were like, this is a great idea. We're already looking at implementing it for next year. Thank you. So we may get that in Sleeper next year. So last place penalty this coming year is going to be a mermaid set. By the way, Vital, wonderful job on your last place performance. I don't think we've seen you since then. Beautiful.
I had to run away to Alaska.
I know, you literally went across the world after that. It was phenomenal. Nico is a psychopath. It was 2 years in the making because we had somebody before. So good job, man. Next year's penalty is going to be a mermaid set. We will all get input on the jokes. Everybody who's not performing this act, you have to dress up. We're going to get like some really, really cheap mermaid costume. You have to wear the mermaid costume, probably a wig, and then do
the shell bra.
The shell bra, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to get whatever the cheapest mermaid costume I can find online. That's what we're going to use. And then that's going to be the outfit. And then we're going to make yeah. All right. I got to pull up the correct. I took screenshots of this one. The hot topic right now, team formerly known as the Washington Redskins. There's a group called the Native American Guardians Association. They have submitted a petition to the NFL that as of yesterday has surpassed 100,000 signatures, calls for the restoration of the team's original name. This is a quote from the petition. The name carries deep cultural, historical, and emotional significance, honoring the bravery, resilience, and warrior spirit associated with Native American culture. The NAGA, which is the organization, petition states it was never intended as a derogatory or offensive term, but as a symbol of respect and admiration.
The change, the Redskins name originated from the Native American Indian Congress or something like that. It's a similar sort of like
another group
type. Yeah. And they said that campaign had actually started in the 50s and 60s to change all of the Indian team names. But it was absolutely inarguably used as a racial slur. So I don't necessarily agree that they should rename the team the Redskins, but I do agree that they are right in the sense that this is one of the arguments I've heard about them changing their name to like the Commanders or whatever, is that instead of changing the name to a different sort of Native American honor sort of thing, you've completely removed them from being represented basically and having a point of pride for Native Americans to point and say, look, we are represented in this way. So I do agree, like what the Cleveland Indians did, they became the Guardians. One of the worst team renamings like in recent history is awful. Completely removed like that, all of the Indian Native American history and all of the representation. Now, Chief Wahoo, also one of the most ridiculous characterizations of like a race. I send it to my friends. It's like very inappropriate, but at the same time, like there are ways to respectfully represent cultures like the Atlanta Braves, right? The Atlanta Braves, nobody has a problem really with the Atlanta Braves. No. It's not lampooning anything. It's not cartoonish. The Florida Seminoles, another great example. Like I always thought the Washington Warriors would have been a great idea. It could have kept the logo, the branding, everything, just a simple name, Washington Warriors. It has a nice ring to it. I hate the Commanders. I think it's awful. It doesn't sound good. It's too many syllables. The branding sucks. They don't have a mascot. They don't even have like a logo. But I do agree that they should not have disassociated themselves with like Native American representation. Like I think there is a way to do it respectfully. Like there's many teams across in college football, especially that are named after Native American tribes that they do it respectfully. The Atlanta Braves, like the Kansas City Chiefs.
I agree with Lonnie, except I don't even think I think it's just stay away with it. It's too hard to like go back. I agree that maybe they shouldn't have strayed away from the Native American culture, but they did. And at this point, I don't know, pick something new or like go hard into Commanders. And well, like, what else are you gonna do? You think they could go back?
I don't know if they can go back, but here's the issue. This Native American group is alleging a lot of fans of the team feel disenfranchised that this was taken away from them. But they're not calling for, just to be clear, they're not calling for like a name change that they still can associate with. They're calling for a reinstatement of the name. But you brought up a really interesting point, Lonnie, in the logo. That logo was awesome. You've got this whole organization that's saying like, you took everything away from us already. Now you're going to take our team, our football team.
And ironically renamed the team like the guys that took everything from you as well.
Right.
Like, by the way, we're renaming the team is the people who did all the terrible things to you. We're going to remind you. Like, so it's like a whole little microcosm of your entire history is right here. We're going to take this away and we'll replace it with our stuff. Now that we're kind of removed from Dan Snyder a little bit, we can probably piece together that some of that was probably to get him out as well. Like some of that, change the team name stuff was probably designed to oust him and make him look bad. But also I think now you're seeing the NFL was like, we're going to try our hand at social issues. And now they're like, absolutely not. A lot of companies and organizations were doing that, especially 4 or 5 years ago, like NBA did it. And I think they're going to kind of move away from stuff like this in the future. They're not really interested in having an opinion anymore, I don't think. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have the sale of the team just went through, right? They've just sold the team. This new group is going to come in. They'll do a rebrand, I would imagine. They'll rename the team again. But the Washington Warriors, it's right there. It's easy.
Perfect. It's easy, right? It probably would have satisfied all groups involved. So let's talk about players moving teams, big name players, fantasy relevant players that are switching teams. I want to hear you guys tell me, do you think they're going to be better in fantasy? And I have their previous year's ranking. Let's start with the biggest one, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Last year, he was QB 13.
Better.
Yeah, man, they're building a huge team around him. He's got so much talent. Yeah, better.
I think that defense is going to get the ball back for him a lot too.
Better defense, better receivers, premier running back.
The Jets hype train is rolling. All right, we had Derek Carr go to the Saints. Last year, he was QB 17. You got to go better or worse. No, this is like over-under.
If I have to choose, all right, I'll give him better, but not by much.
QB
but I
16?
do think he'll be...
QB 16.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like they're going to win that division most likely. So, let's say better.
I say better too, and I agree for the same exact reason. I don't think that division's very tough. I don't think those defenses are that tough.
That's probably going to be the worst division in football this year.
I think so. Yeah. I've got them winning that division. Some of the division picks, which we'll do in a couple weeks, are tough, but that one was not. All right, Jimmy G to the Raiders. Last year he was QB 25.
The Raiders dismantled their team. It seems like I don't think.
Well, they still have Devontae Adams.
They still have Devontae Adams. They're probably going to have Josh Jacobs, assuming I think he's back in camp. Probably a healthy Hunter Renfrow.
I'd say better than 25.
I think he's going to be better than 25. I think Josh McDaniels, he fits in that system well. Josh McDaniels knows his strengths and weaknesses. Baker to the Bucks. Last year, Baker was QB 29. He hasn't even officially won the starting job. I would assume he's going to start some of their games. Chris Godwin's there. Mike Evans is there. Better?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't believe in Baker at all, dog. I don't know what you're talking about. Not a chance.
QB 29 though, it's pretty low, man. Are you going to be picking him in worst QBs sometimes? Are we going to be thinking that's
often? A good idea? I bet I will be picking him often in worst QBs.
He hasn't officially beat out Kyle Trask. They say he's been making more good plays, but also more bad plays, and that's what you get with Baker. And Sam Darnold to the 49ers, QB 36 last year. Looks like they're rolling with Brock Purdy as long as he's healthy for the starter. Sam Darnold apparently has the edge as the backup. If Brock Purdy goes down and he can run that offense, that team is so good. We could be talking about Sam Darnold as a Super Bowl champion at the end of this season, and it is not that far-fetched.
Are you okay?
Yeah, dude, what's going on, man?
Listen, hold on. The
Michael Thomas thing is over now. You can't pick Michael Thomas as Sam Darnold, the new guy.
Michael Thomas is still on my dynasty team also.
Oh, you're an insane person.
Well, I'm not going to cut him. I mean, he's probably going to be my 5th best wide receiver this year. No, they're talking about him as a starter. He's back in practice. Anyway, Sam Darnold, hear me out. How often do teams finish the season without their starting quarterback?
But you're talking about teams that are bad, right? Like bad teams don't have their starter make it to the end of the year.
I'm talking about the 49ers. The 49ers don't have their starter make it to the end of the year very often.
Yeah, but the 49ers have been trotting out guys that really don't know what they're doing. You had Jimmy G, who was just basically running the offense, and he stayed in there the year that they made it to the Super Bowl. I think Brock Purdy is going to settle in, and I don't think he's going to be elite talent. I don't think you're talking about him being the next Tom Brady. But I think he will manage that team probably throughout the entire year. That's kind of his whole thing. He gets rid of the ball very fast. He doesn't get sacked a lot. He's quick on his feet, but he doesn't run the ball.
He's coming off a really bad injury that saw him not be able to throw the ball at all.
Sure, but I do think he runs that offense throughout the year.
The team is loaded with talent. Quarterback is their most questionable position, and Sam Darnold has the most draft capital and experience on that team.
Yeah, but his draft capital is really only because like the Jets make terrible decisions. Like
he's also not that old.
He has more draft capital than Trey Lance.
Same draft capital as Trey Lance, 3rd overall, more experience, face more adversity. You see it all the time. These guys, after like 4 or 5 years, they're like, oh, I'm starting to get this. I've been around. I've seen it all.
Right.
And they're saying in camp that he's looked very good.
But what else are they going to say in camp? Everyone looks good in camp. That's all.
No, they're not saying Trey Lance looks good in camp. They're saying Trey Lance looks like the fucking bust in camp, dude.
No, they're saying Trey Lance is gone, most likely. They're saying John Lynch wants his ass out of there.
Right.
Ooh,
no.
Yikes.
They're not saying that about everybody. All right. DeAndre Hopkins to the Titans. Last year, he was wide receiver 47.
Dumb, terrible. One of the worst moves I've ever seen, to be honest.
Okay.
I agree.
Wait, well, by who? By the Titans or by DeAndre Hopkins?
Both. Why the fuck would he go there? Like, what is he doing? What are you doing, dude? Like,
he just wants money and targets, man.
Well, that's fine, I guess. But like, you had the chance to like go to a real team, and now you're going to have fucking Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. Like, okay.
I agree. From a winning standpoint, it doesn't make any kind of sense, but he wants some money. He wants a lot of targets. I don't know. He wants his name in the headlines again. Who knows? Maybe he wants to be fantasy relevant, whatever.
Yeah, great way to
What was his number last year?
He was wide receiver 47 last year because he had an injury and
he was injured, and he was also suspended for like steroids or something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing about this decision that actually is beneficial is like his fantasy value is going to go way up, I think.
Who else do they have in Tennessee though?
Nobody. Yeah, they got Treylon Burks. They got him. And that's why he went there, I think. It's like, we're going to give you the rock. You know, he just wants to play ball. They got Derrick Henry still. He's good. He's a good player. Yeah. And they're actually their tight end who came on last year, Okonkwo or something like that.
Yeah, he's pretty decent.
Oh, yeah, he was nice.
DJ Moore to the Bears. Last year, he was wide receiver 24 in PPR. He actually ranked higher not in PPR.
Justin Fields had some great games last year.
A lot of that was on the ground. He'll be worse than wide receiver 24.
I think so.
Ooh, I disagree, dude.
A lot of new guys are coming in that I think are going to have more prominent roles on better teams. Wide receiver 24 is pretty good.
I'm with you on that. I think he's lower just because I don't think it's going to be a very pass-happy offense. And I still don't know if I trust Justin Fields as a thrower yet. Odell Beckham Jr. The last season that he played, he was wide receiver 55, and that was in 2021. He went to the Ravens, and by all accounts, he's saying he's fully healthy. Does he do better than wide receiver 55?
No way.
Yes.
This dude's getting hurt.
That is the concern. If he's healthy, he definitely beats it. I think.
Yeah, if he's healthy, but I don't think he'll stay healthy.
All right, let's get to the running backs. There's a lot of big running back movement.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about Brandon Cooks.
Oh, Brandon Cooks. That's right. He went to Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys. He's always been very fantasy relevant. But let me see what he ranked last year before we decide better or worse. I like the move, by the way. How do you feel about him going to the Cowboys? Do you like that one?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, elite wide receiver group.
They really do.
I mean, that never means shit for the Cowboys, but
they always have an elite wide receiver group. That's right. Yeah. Sure. So last year, he was wide receiver 49 last year.
He'll do better this year. Yeah.
I think he'll do better.
In PPR, he could end up challenging CeeDee Lamb for the highest scoring receiver on the team.
He's not going to be the number one guy. So I would say he's going to have a good year, Brandon Cooks.
I think so too. Dak may not be able to put it in a tight window, but he's going to have some very big windows to throw to.
I mean, you have a perennial number one guy who is now the slot receiver, the Z slot. Like, this guy is going to eat up.
You guys ready to move on to running backs? Let's do a couple quick running backs. Dalvin Cook to the Jets. Running back 11 last year.
Nah, I think he falls off, but not by much.
I mean, 11's pretty kind of fallen off for Dalvin Cook already.
Like, I'm trying to think, are there 11 running backs that I'd rather have instead of Dalvin Cook? And I don't think the answer is yes.
The only thing about that argument that I don't like is that one of those running backs who I like more than Dalvin Cook is on his team. It's Breece Hall. So if you're not the best running back on your team, how are you going to be in the top 10 in the league?
I mean, are we assuming that Dalvin Cook isn't going to start over Breece Hall?
Is Dalvin Cook going to get more touches? Is he going to get more passes? I think he's still good, but I think this is going to be a timeshare backfield. And Michael Carter's still there.
And I can easily name 11 running backs ahead of him right now.
One of those running backs is the next one. Actually, the next couple running backs I have on that list, I think are going to be ahead of him. Miles Sanders went to the Panthers. He was running back 15 last year. Panthers are talking about using him more like a 3-down back this year.
I just don't think the Panthers are going to be a good team is the issue.
No, I don't
think he might get the volume, but not enough scores. He'll get touches, but I don't think he's going to get scores.
I think he's going to catch a lot more balls. They're going to be throwing it. They're going to be dumping it off. He's got a rookie quarterback. Historically, they're going to do screens. They're going to protect him.
All right. Yeah, I'll take him ahead just because he's going to have a higher volume of touches this year.
His replacement essentially in Philadelphia is DeAndre Swift. This is a draft day trade. Last year, he was running back 21. Do we think DeAndre Swift improves on running back 21 with the Eagles?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. The 4 running backs after Dalvin Cook, I have all of them on my dynasty team. So I'm very excited. His backup, maybe timeshare with the Eagles, Rashad Penny, was running back 70 last year. He's had a lot of injury issues, but when he's healthy, he is dynamic.
The thing is he going to stay healthy for the first time in his career, which I say no.
He can play, I think, 10 games with the Eagles and still beat running back 70. I think they're going to put up a lot of points this year.
Yeah.
It was a weird injury last year. He broke his leg, like broke a bone in his leg. So it wasn't a soft tissue injury, which leads me to believe that he's going to bounce back. David Montgomery went to the Lions from the Bears. Last year, he was running back 24. The Lions also drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Do we think David Montgomery is better than 24 this year?
No. Worse.
I think he's worse. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a lot of run. Jamal Williams to the Saints, running back 13. A lot of that was touchdowns. Can he beat running back 13?
No.
I think he does.
Behind Alvin Kamara? No way.
I think he's going to step ahead of Alvin Kamara, honestly.
He's good, but he's not talented like that.
He would have to score so many touchdowns this year to top running back 13 like he did last year. I think he set the record in the Detroit Lions history for most running back touchdowns.
I bet he's top 10 at the end of the season.
Jamal Williams, really?
Yeah, feel good about that.
Al just likes Jamal because he's a fellow like black anime nerd. And you feel
why does everyone think I like anime?
He's got nose.
Like anime.
It's the nose rings, dude. That's why.
Jamal Williams. Oh
no, they both have nose rings. If I'm not mistaken, they are now the nose ring backfield.
I think you're right.
Maybe Jamal Williams is the anime weeb.
Yeah, okay. Didn't he like the Dragon Ball Z visor? He's always got like head wraps.
He's got Naruto headbands.
Yeah.
All right, so that's why you're a fan. That makes more sense.
Everyone thinks because I wear glasses, I like anime. It's untrue. I don't like anime, guys. I know I should.
I mean, you are nerdy though. Like
that is true. Comic books, American shit.
Dude, we performed at an anime convention together. Like we did it.
It was a con. All genre of nerds are represented. It's just anime kids go hard there.
It was a specifically anime con. I like a little bit of anime. I'm starting to get into it. The last running back I had on this list, Zeke to New England. Last year, he was running back 22. Respectable.
Ooh.
We got Ramondre Stevenson in New England. Damian Harris is gone, though. Does Zeke beat running back 22 with the Patriots? They do good with their running backs. Their running backs score well.
I'd say yes, just because they're going to base their offense off of their running game. So
I'm going to go less, but not much. I think there's a slight drop off in his scoring. The last thing we're doing, tight ends. I only have 2 tight ends on this list that I feel like are relevant that move teams. We have Darren Waller to the Giants. Tight end 31 last year. He was very banged up. He's had a lot of injury issues.
Significantly better.
Yeah.
Back to the top 10, if not top 5 tight ends.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree.
If he's healthy,
yeah. I'd give him top 15, but yeah. I think he's going to do great. I agree.
Even if he's moderately healthy, I think he does top 15. And then Gesicki to the Patriots, tight end 23 last year.
I mean, he's going to play, right? He's going to get on the field this year, so yeah.
They're going to throw him the ball occasionally, one would think.
Yeah.
All right. Did I miss anybody else?
I think he's down. I don't think the Patriots are going to do well this year at all.
Me neither. I hate saying that, but it's just the reality of the situation. This was fun. So last year, the much maligned on our podcast, Nyheim Hines was in a jet ski accident this offseason, and he is out for the season. Apparently somebody else hit him with a jet ski, but I believe it's an ACL injury still. Like,
yikes.
What the fuck? Nyheim Hines, congratulations. You're going to create, I think they're going to call it the Kenny Powers clause that they're going to start putting in contracts. Yeah, no jet skiing allowed in the offseason from now on. So Nyheim Hines is out for the season, if you guys were wondering how he was going to do. All right. The last order of business, though, the last order of first podcast business is we're going to draw out names. We're going to see what the draft order is for this year. So let me pull up. Ooh, boy. All right. Where do you guys want to be? We have 14 teams. We got some new teams, some new league members this year. 14 teams. Where would you like to draft?
I like my sweet spot. I think I do well in the third, fourth spot.
You do historically do well there.
I would like that as well, because when I was first, things went to shit last year, dude. So
first pick
not anywhere but first.
Dude, the first curse, you know what's been happening a lot this year with first is a lot of people are taking Justin Jefferson first just because of the reliability. That's been a trend just because he's young, he's durable, he gets a high volume. He seems like a safe pick. Because so many times that number one pick does not pan out when you go running back or whatever. It's like the curse of the first. So I've even heard some arguments for Kelsey as one overall, because not only are you getting high production, but you're also getting a positional advantage, which is one of the reasons I love drafting Kelsey.
That is true.
So anyway, all right. So now we're about to find out the number one overall pick in the, by the way, of course, we're using, as always, to prevent any kind of cheating and wrongdoing, we're using this wonderful Patriots hat, as is per tradition of the league. Brian G, who's actually on my comedy show tonight, I'm going to see in just a couple of hours. Brian G was the winner of the losers bracket last year, and he ended up winning the lotto tickets. He still hasn't told me how much he won. He refuses to give me a number.
That's how you know he won a lot.
Oh, yeah, I don't think way more than I did for winning the fucking league, which is ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know if he won more than you did for winning the league, but he said it was more than the buy-in. So he definitely is covering his buy-in and then some for this league year, which I found very interesting. Oh, that reminds me. I also put another caveat. This year in the league, one of the new rules is if you have the most points, we're going to do a most points bonus this year. But also, if you score the most points in the league, you're going to get an automatic playoff berth. So there's no way you will basically, if you finish 7th, 8th, whatever, but you have the most points, you will supplant the 6th seed. So whoever is in that 6th seed is.
But what are the odds that happens?
It happened to me last year in another league.
Oh, so this is for you. This is
yes. I remember
wow.
episodes of complaining about being the highest scoring, and now
by far the highest scoring team in the league.
All
I got was a bonus. I did not. So anyway, but I mean, you guys can complain about this. You do not think it's a good rule?
No, it's fine. It's a fine rule.
It's a good rule.
I think it's a fine rule unless I'm in the fucking 6th seed and I get
exactly.
Listen,
I would be mad.
If you're in the 6th seed, but you're not even in the top 7 of scoring in the league, you don't deserve to make the playoffs.
That's not true. Because my team came through when it counted. It's not my fault your team's having bad weeks.
Right.
Listen, if you're not better than if you didn't score better than at least half the league, tough shit.
Your thing of saying you were by far the highest scoring team in the league, you scored 6 more points than I did.
Not in our league. This is in another league. No, I made the playoffs in our league.
You did make the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah. No, in another league, I was the highest scoring team. So I was the highest scoring team in 2 leagues last year. The other league,
man, I got so fucking lucky last year. I had the most points, but I mean the second most points and the least points against me. I went 12-1 last year.
I know.
Everyone had their worst week against you.
Yes, dude, it was amazing. The last year was the Mac Jones game, right? Or was that 2 years ago?
No, that was.
That was 2 years ago. That shit made me sick, dude.
Oh, dude, that was just.
I needed 3 points from this scumbag. 3 points, dude.
Oh, and he got negative 0. Oh, dude, that was just.
Dude, that whole day I'm happy. I'm knocking Lonnie out of the playoffs. I'm just chilling, dude.
But that reminds me, we're adding a couple things this year for the podcast point contest. Super Bowl MVP. We're going to pick all of the playoff games. Coach of the Year is an add-on for preseason picks. But we're also going to pick the actual games every Monday night. We always do it anyway, but now we're actually going to make that part of the contest. Because I lost last year, Just tell you, I just realized on my notes because I lost last year. I get first pick on worst QBs. I already penciled in. It just says Cardinals QB. And actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm probably gonna stick with that no matter who.
What's the kickoff day this year?
It's Thursday, September 7th is the kickoff. So I figure we'll do maybe one more podcast before that. And then if you guys are available, Thursday the 7th, we'll do a kickoff podcast, which would be fun.
Sounds good.
Once you have a return date, let me know, Vital. I got a spot for you. Are you doing stand-up up there?
Okay.
Have you hit any mics or
Oh
anything?
yeah, actually, I just did a show a few nights ago at this little spot they call the Spike out here. So it was a good time. I'm literally the only comedian in the state of Alaska, I feel like.
Really?
Well, at least in Denali. Yeah, no one does comedy out here. It's the breath of fresh air. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. They're so happy.
Oh, dude,
Vital's never coming back, man.
I might. I'm the man up here, dude.
Vital's gonna be the fucking mayor next time we talk. Wear a fucking bear hat like Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah, the whole thing, the whole skid, dude.
Well, this is great, man. It's great seeing you guys. I gotta get going. I gotta get ready for my show. Dude, Vital, so good to see you. So good to talk to you, man. I'm glad you're.
Good to see you guys. Can't wait to be back.
Yeah,
cannot wait for this to give this guy a little brother.
Oh, you have to wait. You'll be waiting a long time, dude.
It's gonna be a great year. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. We're coming back. Okay.
I'm
gonna win. The
You're calling
win the Super Bowl. The Miami Heat are gonna win the finals. I'm going to become president of the United States. This is gonna be a good year. Okay. It's gonna be a great year. I can't wait.
This is your stomach tattoo again. This is my year, Lonnie. I feel it.
You're right about one thing. It's your year for the tattoo, I think. That's what I feel. I feel like you're definitely.
I'm still tattoo-less, bro. It's not going to happen.
This is
it's definitely Vital's year.
Not a chance.
I'm going hard in the contest this year. I'm gonna be grinding all year long.
You always do. It doesn't help you.
It doesn't help me. I won last year, 2 years ago, whatever. I almost beat you the one before that. I almost beat you last year. God damn. All right. I gotta get going. It's good to see you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
See you.
All right. Stay safe.
Guys.
Have fun.
You too.